Cuz the Internet podcast. I'm your host Trey.
And I'm your Jose. Let's get into it.
Um, Again with Ebony K. Williams. I saw her on a podcast recently. I can't remember the name, but it was a bunch of women, and they were talking about Drake renting out Dodger Stadium to take the woman on.
Bridget Kelly and Mandy B. Can't remember the name of the podcast, but I seen it.
Okay, now at that point, they were talking how amazing and crazy that is, and basically after a man does something like that, the next dude or whomsoever they can't go under, they have to live up to that standard. So I'm asking you, what do you think about that statement and that train of thought, that if you get to a certain level, you can't go back?
As the youngins would say, cap.
Okay,
No,
okay.
that means nothing. Because what one man can give you, the other man can't, and what that man can give you, the other man can't. So, okay, Drake rents out the Dodger Stadium for a date. Okay, all right. But then you hear Drake is trying to pick up this girl and that girl, and he's sleeping with this person and that person. So you're going to take renting out a Dodger Stadium to make you feel special for, the 3 hours you're there on your date, for him to treat you like crap the whole time, or you're gonna have a dude who obviously doesn't make as much as that take you to a Dodgers game for a date, and he'd be the sweetest person in the world, treat you like the queen that you should be treated as. So it's a give and a take. Just because somebody can do that for you doesn't mean you have to now try to top that to be with that girl. No, just be a nice human being,
Yeah.
and that's it. So I don't believe you have to top that. I just believe you just be who you are, be nice, treat her proper, and things will be fine. Now, obviously, that will be on her mind, like, oh man, there was this one time where this dude took me here. But okay, for a date, you can be like, okay, let's go on a helicopter ride around the city. That's cool too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's perspective also.
Okay.
You?
I see. I fully agree with what you're saying. I just think we use this word a lot. I think it's toxic. I think that at the end of the day, if it shouldn't be about what someone could give you. Yes, it's amazing and experience, like you said, something that you should always keep in your mind, or it's a moment for you that you share it. But for the most part, that shouldn't be what now your goal is, to find somebody that could give that to you, rather than, again, emotion and just caring about you as a person. I just think it's a toxic way of thinking. I think too many people think like that, and therefore they end up in bad situations. And yeah, I found it disgusting. I'm assuming they were joking and just tongue in cheek about it, saying, well, you can't go be, just how it is. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I was still like, that's just not it. For that to be like, yeah, he did, so you can't date nobody after that doesn't do that. Like, really? You think everybody got Drake money and now you're going for only guys that? It's just a sick way of thinking. And yeah, just wanted to throw that one out there. I was perturbed by that, a little perturbed by that train of thought.
No, I understand what you're saying. I get it. I completely understand. So now, there was another post that I sent you. The dude has been DMing this, I guess, Instagram model.
Okay, yeah.
And she has not responded a couple of times. Finally, she responds to him, and she says, hey, let's go out. Let's go to Salt Bay's restaurant. So they end up going to Salt Bay's restaurant. They don't see Salt Bay. She ordered steak. He ordered whatever he ordered. When they're leaving, she calls her Uber, and he says, hey, I'm parked over here. She says, oh, I already got my Uber, so I'm going to go home. He's now upset, saying, okay, well, give me what I paid for your dinner, because I didn't think the date was going to end like this. And she's saying, you basically thought I was going to come to your place just because of this. So in this situation, I feel like they're both wrong. Definitely, hands down.
Okay.
I'm going to explain.
Yes, please do.
Because after all this, he's expecting to get some. So he thinks just because he brought her on a date, expensive restaurant, paid for it, he was entitled to her coming back to his place and something leading to something else.
Yeah.
Her defense after a while, if she would have said nothing, I would have said he's wrong. But then her defense was, well, you paid for this. And she motioned, you paid for my company. Because I'm a hot commodity, this is what you're paying for. What?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what bothered me about that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not the fact that, hey, we're just getting to know each other. Me going to your place is not even the right thing to do. Why would you assume this would lead to sex? But you're thinking because you're a beautiful Instagram model, you're entitled to people spoiling you and buying you things and doing things for you. Now, that's not the way life works. I feel like they both were wrong. And hey, call it George, cut it, do whatever you guys are doing. Don't make that mistake again, trying to go for a girl that's out of his league, who he can't afford to pay for stuff for. And she shouldn't go after these dudes who Anyways, whatever. What were you going to say? What do you feel?
So, I don't agree. I think that he's wrong. I don't think she's wrong.
He's definitely wrong.
I think her way of thinking is wrong, but I don't think that she's actually wrong. At the end of the day, I see that.
Well, yeah, she's wrong for the way she was thinking.
Exactly.
She's not wrong for not wanting to go home with him because that's not what the day was for.
At the end of the day, he offered her a night out. Because if you ask somebody on a date, that's what you're saying. You're saying, hey, can we go out? It's not, hey, can we go out unless we do this? And if that's your intentions, you write it down. But don't just throw it out there. And now that you finish spending however much he spent, be like, yeah, so I want half of it back because you're not going to give me something. So I don't think she's wrong at all. Because he asked her on a date, she took him up on the date. That's it. That's all. Whether her mind was like, the only reason he wants to date me is because of this and I'm worth this much, that's her mind. She's allowed to think what she wants to think. It doesn't change the fact that he asked her, he took her, and he paid for a date. So, no, I think that he's just all the way wrong. I don't think that she's wrong, except she just has a horrible way of thinking. It was lame. It was extremely lame, bro. Like, who really, again, goes on a date, pays for the date, and because the person does not want to go back home with you, now asking back for the money. It's like, you really thought you were entitled to her body because you bought her supper. I don't know what part of the game that is, man, but that's definitely not cool, man. So no, he's just wrong. I can't even put the blame on both of them. It's all him, bro. That's how I see it.
This is just something I came across in San Francisco. Petty theft, or they decriminalized petty theft. So if you steal under $900, the cops cannot arrest you. Not won't arrest you. The cops can't stop or prosecute anyone who steals anything less than $900.
Mm.
Now, okay, in my mind, a crime is a crime. Just because they're not stealing a lot, the cops can't do anything. That doesn't make any sense. Now, if they say they're not going to waste their time on prosecuting anybody who has done petty theft, then I understand. But you're going to say it's decriminalized and the cops won't do anything? Now, after that post, they showed a video of a dude running inside a store and stealing. And everybody was just standing there watching him because no one could do anything. There was even, if it wasn't a police officer, there was a security guard that was just standing there watching. That's the stupidest thing in the world. I just figured I'd talk about it because I saw it on the interwebs. It was stupid, really stupid. But I mean, it's not even to say I really even want your opinion about it because I know you're going to say it's stupid as well. But I mean, hey, give your opinion, please.
I honestly don't know enough about it to understand why, because it doesn't make sense to me. Again, making certain things felonies and whatnot, I fully understand. I fully agree. Petty theft should not be. And a lot of times, especially in California, when they had the three-strike rule and law and stuff, they were trying to bump up stuff just to give people life sentences and all that. So we all know that history and why it's messed up.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, as far as now you can't be arrested, think about how unfair that is to these business owners and whatnot. That's still messed up, bro. Like you're affecting their livelihood. And so I just need to find out why, or you know what I mean, what, because I'm assuming there's a method to the madness. I'm assuming it makes sense in the long run. I just can't see it just from the outside looking in, how you could just, you know.
So, hear me out. Someone owns a convenience store.
Yeah.
Every day, someone comes in and they steal $100 worth of stuff and they leave.
Yeah.
Eventually, you will have nothing.
That's my point.
So it really makes no sense.
Or even a clothing store. Someone steal a $500 jacket. Someone's stealing the $200 shoes, and it makes no sense. Exactly. But I'm assuming it makes sense in some, you know what I mean, somewhat. Like maybe police were just going overboard with you know, arresting little kids for stealing candy and all these other stuff, where it was just like, okay, you guys are filling these prisons and group homes and all these stuff with kids that don't need to be in the system. Maybe it's something like that, where they just took the extreme left on it. I don't know, but yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Just
it does
on the outside. That's just.
So, I know this is going to be even more random. The Weeknd and Angelina Jolie are rumored to be dating.
Yeah.
And then Rumor and Sharon Stone are rumored to be dating.
Yeah.
Okay, first I got to go back. Angelina Jolie. You know she's only 46 years old?
Yeah.
She does not look 46 years old.
Oh, you find she looks older?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I say this because she's not that much older than I am. And me and her don't look the same age. Nowhere near the same age. So when I saw she was 46, I was shocked. But that's it.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. What's with these young dudes? It doesn't matter.
No, I'll explain it. I'll explain what it is, bro. Because it does matter. These guys are living out their dreams, bro. That's what it is. It's that simple. Think about it. Weeknd, I don't care what anyone says. He has a chance to be with Angelina Jolie. Like, dude, he's getting credit no matter who you look at. You might be like, my type. The world is giving him credit. All his boys are giving him credit. You're like, yo, you're with Tomb Raider, bro? Fire. I'm sorry. Rumor with Sharon Stone. Dude, these guys are living out their best dreams, bro. I cannot knock it. I give them props. They got into. I'm surprised that Drake hasn't done it, to be honest. Seriously.
But Drake probably has.
He probably, bro, because he's the one that you would be like, yo, he definitely. And these guys are. I salute it. I salute it 1,000%.
Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct. There you go, man. Come on. Everyone knows Basic Instinct. Rumors like, I'm with Basic Instinct. I'm sure you guys are just reenacted that. Just, you know. I'm telling you, bro.
He's like, this movie came out. I wasn't even born yet.
Right?
He's like, ew.
He's like, call these grandparents. Guess who I'm with? I'm telling you, bro. Nah, dude. I give it nothing but credit, man. I salute it. I ain't even gonna lie. That's fire. Yeah.
I mean,
They're
sure,
living
I
out their
guess.
dreams, bro.
I get what you're
They're
saying. I
living
really do
out
get what
their
you're saying.
dreams, dude. That's just like, again, like I said, any young black man with Lucy Liu, I'd be like, I give it a credit, my guy. I'll give it a credit, yo.
So, I have a question for you.
Mhm.
So, there's a post I saw on the interwebs, and it's a picture of Suge Knight and a picture of Diddy. And it says they both offer you a contract. Who do you choose? Who would you choose?
That's a good question. Um, I would honestly, I'd probably choose Bad Boy. I choose Bad
Why?
Boy. For one, I heard so many bad stories of the people that were actually signed to death row, like getting beat up, different things happening, people in their crew getting beat up. It was just way more violent. Naturally, Bad Boy has the Bad Boy curse we all know of. But if you move like, let's say Mace or somebody that, get your buddy and leave, or do something like that, it can still be beneficial to you. Now, unless you're Dr. Dre or Snoop or the Dog Pound, we'll see. I will say, Death Row hasn't been too good to too many people that's come out of it. At least with Bad Boy, they had the Locks. They people that's kept kept their money or had money even after. Um, so yeah, I'm just saying I'd probably do Bad Boy rather than Death Row just because too much violence over at Death Row, it seemed as though. You?
But my question is, do you think they got, before I answer the question, do you think these people who left Bad Boy kept money from Bad Boy, or they made money from other ventures after Bad Boy? Because a lot of them came out.
Mhm.
The only ones, say Mace, he had money because he was the cash cow after Biggie.
Yeah.
Biggie passed, so okay, it moved on to Mace. So he bumped the hell out of Mace. Mace was his cash cow. Did everything with Mace. So Mace was making money. So when Mace decided to leave, he had money. But everybody else, we all know about Bad Boy's loophole contracts where you're stuck there and you're paying for the rest of your lives. So people are scavenging and fighting for their lives. They threaten Diddy, like the Locks did, and stuff like that.
But
It's only after
go ahead.
everything has happened, so
Mhm.
everything's said and done, where they reconcile and make amends, and then they're doing their own thing again, and that's when they start making money again. So I don't think they make money off of Bad Boy. I think,
But I'm not just talking about the money though. I'm talking about I find Bad Boy made bigger individual artists. Like their actual name were able to go on even without Bad Boy. Where they're still able to. I'm just saying, Faith Evans, Stevie J, their name is still big enough that after the fact, they're still able to keep going.
but once again, I don't think it has anything to do with Bad Boy
Mhm.
itself. I feel like it has to do with the people associated with Bad Boy, i.e., Biggie. So
Mhm.
Faith is associated with Biggie. So from there, Faith is always going to be Faith wherever she goes.
I'm just saying, but a lot of artists have had that. And again, people associated with Bad Boy, maybe not fully signed to, like French Montana or Rick Ross, or people that were still associated. Still, all I'm saying is that brand seemed
French
to have,
Montana and Rick Ross were signed to Bad Boy?
well, either signed or associated with Bad
No,
Boy.
I'm
Yes,
asking if they were signed to Bad Boy.
I don't think signed
Oh,
necessarily.
so then why are we talking about? Because
My
we're talking
point.
about Bad Boy. Thanks, Jeff.
So the thing is, the thing is, I'm just saying. I find again between the whole hit makers, that whole crew of producers and stuff.
Hmm.
I'm just saying, after the fact, they still lived on. Their names still lived on. They
Yeah,
still
yeah.
had were able to work after the fact. Again, I'm not talking about the curse. but people after are still Loon. If he was to keep making music right now after he got out of prison, he'd still be making money off of that. But just his name alone, he's still making money. We are, like I already said, The Locks, Faith, DBJ. I don't know what's going. What's his name? Brian Michael Cox, whatever. The whole. You get what I'm saying? There's so many people that are attached to that brand that we know. With Death Row, there's not too many that we know. Of course, there's the legends, there's the DJ Quick, there's the, Dog Pound, Snoop. But for the most part, other than those keys, we really don't know much. And there's so many people that were on that label that created hits. It's just, I don't find Death Row really pushed everybody out like that. So I'd say I'd just personally go with Bad Boy because I think I'd be able to find a way even if after the fact. How about you? Which one?
So definitely Bad Boy. I'm not a gangster. I mean, if I have to protect myself, my family, ones I love, I have to do what I have to do.
Facts.
But exactly. But I ain't that guy to go out, start beef with nobody, tell somebody about their mothers, and I ain't doing all that stuff. That's not me, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like my brand would have nothing to do with Death Row.
Yeah.
So I mean, that whole pretty boy shimmy.
I see it. I see it.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Bad Boy all day, every day. And my thing is, when I was younger, obviously everybody's dream was to become a rapper. Shoot, I hope I'm gonna be a rapper. I'm assigned to Rockefeller. Rockefeller dismantled, then I got older. I said I'm assigned to Bad Boy. Why? Because all I wanted to do was get an album out anyways. I don't care about anything after that. Because I know Diddy will use you. You put out an album, and in his contract, he has you for 60 more albums. But he'll put you on the shelf, and you'll never do anything else again.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that because all I wanted to do was one album anyways. And that's all it would be.
Yeah.
That was all it would be. So, I mean, by default, I was already going to go with Bad Boy since I was a kid, saying what I was going to do. Then I saw this, and I thought to myself, Suge Knight's in jail. He doesn't even have Death Row anymore. But you know what? If this was back in the day, that's not even my brand.
And they had
so
112 again. And it's just like what you're saying. It wasn't just one like genre. It wasn't just one type of a look like gangster rap. That's why you could have blended in and did other things with Bad Boy. So yeah, I think Bad Boy would just be the smart decision, especially now looking back. Clearly would be the best decision, depending, mind you, because Bad Boy still got a curse. But yeah.
You're still on this Bad Boy curse, huh?
Definitely. It's real, bro. It's real.
After a breakup, how long should you take before seeing another person?
Okay, my real answer to that. So after a breakup, how long you should take? I think as long as it takes for you to be good with being by yourself. Once you come to the realization that you're good, like you don't care what the other person is doing, whether they're whether they're in another relationship or you just heard they were at the club partying and doing whatever, as long as it takes for you to just be good with you and you find comfort, that's when I think you should move on, personally. I don't know the amount of time, but sometimes it could take a month, sometimes it takes a full year, but it's until you're able to be fine being by yourself. How about you?
No, it depends on how long you were dating for. Because really, if you were dating for a month, I'm not going to tell you you should take a year, be by yourself, figure out yourself, and whatever.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily the time. It's about you being okay with yourself.
I understand that. Now, if you're dating somebody for a month, there should be no issues where you have to figure yourself out.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, hey, it is possible for it to happen.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're in a relationship, a serious relationship, at least give yourself a year. Let the 4 seasons change before you jump back into anything. And I'm not saying it has to be exactly a year. Give yourself a year, give or take, depending on the relationship, depending on what you guys have gone through. Obviously, it can be longer because if you spent, say, 10 years with somebody and you guys break up, I don't know if a year is going to be enough for you to get over everything, do some soul searching, meditation, stuff like that. But I feel like at least a year is suffice.
I don't agree.
That's
I don't agree.
I have to agree.
Oh my goodness. You have to agree with me. So I think that at the end of the day, it's all about that stupid smile on his face. So I think at the end of the day, it's honestly like, because, all right, let's say you've been in a real toxic relationship for 5 years, but 3 out of those 5 years, the last 3, it's just like you just been wanting to be out of that relationship. Now, you might not need a year. You might find happiness within the first 6 months. It's not, for me, it's really about where you're okay with yourself. That's why it all ultimately comes down to, at least my train of thought, it's all just about being happy. I think once you're able with being happy 100% with yourself, then you could try to add someone to it. So that's why I'm saying whether it's a year, 6 months, 2 days, a week, it's once you're solid on yourself, on your foundation, what you're looking for, what you want, then you could add someone to it. But if you're still broken and looking for something to, mend it and make you whole, I don't think it'll ever work personally. I think that it's all about being solid and then adding to it.
I did say a year, give or take. So I mean, doesn't necessarily mean exactly a year. But with that being said, even if I really feel like a month, 2 months is way too soon.
Mm.
Because in that time frame, after being with somebody for 5 years in a toxic relationship, last 3 years, you really wanted out, you're finally out now. I think after 2 months, you're still rushing into things and you're not necessarily sure if you're 100% good with yourself. So even the 6 months, I think, is still too soon.
Mm.
But that's just my personal opinion.
But
that's it.
I get you.
You know what? I feel like a year is good enough because why are you rushing to get back into something? Understand what I'm saying? You've been in a relationship for 5 years. It was horrible. And you're going to leave this relationship just to get back into one? Now, I'm not saying you can't meet people, can't date, can't see where things go, but there's no rush.
Yeah.
If it's meant to be, this person will wait for you. That's just my opinion.